The term clean eating has gained a ton of popularity over the last couple of years, but is it really a good diet habit to follow? Stick around, we're gonna go over what clean eating is and whether it is a healthy option for you. Hey everybody, it's your girl Amanda, the Buzz Coach. I am an online health accountability coach helping women to lose weight and to live more fulfilled lives. Okay, so you're probably wondering, what is clean eating? Clean eating is a movement to eat real whole foods as close to their natural state as possible, but you're also trying to avoid processed foods. Simple enough, right? So recently, clean eating has gotten a really bad rap.
Why?
With the evolution of the word clean eating and its rising popularity, there has also developed this stigma for the word clean. There has been a lot of competition when it comes to who can eat the cleanest, who can eat the best. There is a lot of demonizing of food that's happening with this terminology. You start to associate your decisions to not eat as clean as you can as being dirty, which then associates yourself with feeling dirty and just not feeling like you're worthy enough or that you're good enough to be healthy. That is absolutely bullshit, okay? And the term clean eating also brings back the idea of a diet mentality. If you veer away from those rules, you are bad, you are worthless. I'll be honest with you, a diet is your own personal approach to eating. It shouldn't be based on how other people are making you feel about how you diet. That's not what we're here for, and that's not what dieting is about. To get back to the basics, clean eating is a way to raise your awareness about the types of foods that you're actually eating and to become more in tune with nutritional value that your food brings to you. Period. That's it. That is really what clean eating is all about. It's not a competition, it's not a contest, it's not a restrictive eating regimen where you starve yourself if it's not clean. Food is so integral into what we do every day. Man, if I'm hating myself for what I love to do, which is eating my food, I mean, I'm gonna be dramatic here, but there ain't no more reason to live. And there is actually a reason why I have been clean eating for the past 4 years and I've never looked back. I used to do calorie counting, I used to do all the fad diets. I never liked how I looked at my food like they were numbers. I didn't like how I would eat something and immediately regret it and feel guilty, pretty much ruin my entire day and self-sabotage. That is diet mentality 101, and that is not what we're doing here. Alright, people? That's not what we're doing here, okay? Clean eating is not about counting calories, and a lot of people have started to really like clean eating because you're not looking at it, piece by piece, trying to figure out the science of how to put everything together and mathematical formulas of how many calories you should be having and how much is left in your daily intake, blah, blah, blah. Clean eating doesn't really focus on the counting and trying to portion out every single thing that you eat all the time, because that is stressful and that is not sustainable. So one thing that clean eating isn't is a magical elixir. It's not a potion. It's not a cure-all for everything. However, if you are looking to feel good, if you're looking to feel the best you can, to really get the most out of your workouts, to feed your body a good deal of food and not feel restricted and bogged down by diet mentality, clean eating is the way to go. So here are some tips on how to get started with clean eating today. So tip number 1, very simple. You just want to go and eat more whole foods. That means you want to go and eat a lot more vegetables, a lot more fruits, lean protein. You want to eat more whole grain. You want to go ahead and get foods that are close to their natural state, that have little processing to them as possible. Now, of course, there are some foods that do have a little bit of processing to them, like quinoa and oats, but the processing is so minimal that you're still getting the entire grain or the entire portion of that raw state. You just needed to get a little processing to make it edible for human consumption, all that. And you want to limit the intake of processed foods. Now, these are foods that have gone through heavy processing, meaning that it goes into a factory looking like one thing and comes out almost completely the other. That is a heavily processed food. So some examples of heavily processed foods would include things like deli meats, sodas, some types of chips, candy, etc. So there are a lot of examples of processed foods out there, and you can go ahead and Google search them. You'll find a ton of examples. And if you want to know how I plan out my own meals using the clean eating tactics, be sure to check out my meal planning video, which I'll include in the description below. We'll show you step by step how I plan out my meals for the week to help me lose weight and to feel nutritionally full, satisfied, and happy with my food. And going along with all that, tip number 2 on how you can start eating clean today is learn how to read the ingredient labels on all the food. That was one skill that I never learned from calorie counting or from pretty much any other diet fad that I've ever done, was understanding the ingredient label. So if I'm looking at a piece of bread and it tells me that it's, it's made from whole durum wheat and also made with certain types of multigrains and I don't know, salt, and those are the only 3 ingredients, that's good news for me. It shows me exactly what went into making that, and from what I can see and what I can tell, I'm good with it. So that's kind of my MO when I'm looking at ingredients. And I mean, long story short, this is not a way to demonize food. You're just becoming more aware of what you're putting into your body. And if you know that the soda that you're buying is made of 32 grams of sugar and, there's really nothing that it's going to provide for you, at least you're aware of it. At least you understand that, hey, you know what? This is not going to do very much for me. This is not the best, but, every once in a while I got to scratch that itch, if you know what I'm saying. And you'll also come to find out that the more you read ingredients, the more you're going to realize that the foods that are in their almost raw or very minimally processed forms have very little ingredients listed on the labels. Usually the cutoff is 5 ingredients or less. Just look at each ingredient. If it makes sense and it's something that you're willing to eat and put into your body, hey, go for it. But you'll notice that foods that are considered junk foods or foods that are not exactly the best for you, you'll notice that the ingredient lists are very long. You're talking like 10 plus ingredients, and not a lot of them are in the raw natural state that you would expect some food to be. You'll notice that there's either an addition of salt, of sugar, or of additional fat, so that's something to be aware of. I'm going to be posting a video soon on my own tactics on how I read ingredient labels and how I use that in my clean eating regimen, so be on the lookout for that video in the near future. So when it comes to clean eating, it's a very versatile guide on how to eat properly. And this could be used in many different forms. You can eat 3 times a day, you can eat 6 times a day using these rules. So my final thoughts when it comes to clean eating, I love it.
Well, duh.
I think it's a really great way to fully understand what you're eating and what it does for your body. It's as healthy as you can make it to be, and I hope you make it healthy. So if you guys enjoyed this video, please be sure to give me a thumbs up and to subscribe to my channel. Hit that subscribe button so that you can see more tips from me in the future. Okay, everybody, I think it's time for me to go and eat. See you later. Bye.